So we are still looking at weight distribution. We are going to look at it from a guard passing perspective. So a good example of this is I want to make Tyrone carry my weight. Okay, so if he's carrying my weight, he can't really move or he can't hip escape, and so he has to frame. And then we are going to move our body to find an angle against his frame to smash that frame so we can put our weight on them. Because the goal from a passing perspective is once I clear past his legs, my goal is to get my chest on Tyrone's. That would be the goal of any guard pass, so I can actually pin him. A good example of this is from like a mounted position. Trying to put my chest on Tyrone's chest. He's going to frame. Shouldn't feel that uncomfortable because all my weight is on my knees. So, but if I actually lift my knees and walk my legs back, so I'm tripoding. Now from there, again, it's still comfortable for me. Tyrone's carrying my weight. He's having to use a wee bit of muscular strength on there. Now I can start to even try and put more weight on him here. Now my goal is to get past this frame. So I'm just going to turn my chest, which smashes the frame down. And then my goal is obviously to get my chest on his chest. Think about it, you're on your knees, bro, facing me. So if Tyrone makes a frame, it's going to be strong, especially if I'm pushing in directly on it. But the minute I cut an angle, I can smear that frame. Or, it can be in a variety of different angles. I can turn this way to get close to them. I also could turn downwards, but again I will be making like a wrist lock on someone or pushing it up. So you're in the bottom again, bro. So think about trying to put your weight on the person, and that usually involves taking your knees off the mat if you're passing from a kneeling position. And then when they frame, how can we smash through those frames by changing the angle of our body to them? So let's just say I got past Tyrone's legs and he just frames on my head, just one hand, another example of that. So my goal is to get my chest on his chest. If I try to just come in a straight line, I mean, he's made a structure there. But if I turn my head, I can collapse that frame. So again, I was turning it looking to my left. I could also bring it down this way and come over the top of it as well. More common would be this frame on the throat. So again, if I'm looking at Tyrone and trying to drive into him, I'm going to end up with a sore throat and I'm pushing directly into that frame. So of course I'll be looking away, so it's on my jugular. Now I want him carrying my weight, so now I just lift my knees off the mat. And now from there I can just cut an angle to smear that frame. If I wanted to, I can give me subs and stuff. So again, got past his legs, he's framing. Yeah. So again, I want him carrying my weight. Unfortunately I have a knee on the mat, so I'll lift my knee off the mat. And then from there, I can just cut an angle, get my chest on his chest. From a knee shield perspective again, because what's the goal of Tyrone's guard? It's to keep my chest as far away from his as possible, so he's brought in limbs as times his legs. So if I'm just driving into his knee shield from here, I'm really not putting him under any kind of pressure at all. He's not really carrying my weight, he probably feels quite comfortable. But the second I make him carrying my weight by lifting my knees off the mat, now he's carrying my weight. But because he's made this frame, this wedge, I need to cut an angle now so I can feel. If I turn my hip this way, now that frame is collapsed. If he tries to bring it back up again, I keep my weight on it. What's my goal? To get my chest on his chest. So again, he's not really under any kind of pressure because he's not carrying my weight. So, because all my weight is on my knees, which is on the mat, just by making him carrying my weight. Okay, so this time, last time his knee shield was there, so I changed the angle by turning my hip down. This time maybe his knee shield is more in my chest. And what's my goal? To get my chest on his, so maybe if I turn my body this way, I can fall into that space. Now he's carrying my weight again. If he actually then, to make it a wee bit more like how we would play guard, he'll make the knee shield and then he'll be framing with his hands as well. So now I have to get past leg frames and arm frames. Obviously, I want to be removing the ones that are closest to me first, so in this case it'll be the knee. So again, Jerome's not really under any kind of pressure from here because he's not carrying my weight. And even when I start to put weight on him, if he's playing half guard right and he's got his elbow on the inside and his hand on my shoulder, box principle, he should still feel okay because he's made a structure. But if I can make him go a little bit under pressure by one, at carrying my weight, and now I just start to change the angle a little bit. So his knee's on my shoulder. What happens if I withdraw my right shoulder? Now that knee shield's gone. Now still frame, push me back. So now I've got past the knee. Now I'm looking to get my sternum and his sternum. He's still driving into me, just smearing this down. Now that left arm is smeared, and now I could probably come underneath this one. And now I've got chest to chest again. There's not a rule book for collapsing frames. You sort of have to just feel your way through it. So every time could be different, because Tyrone could have his knee here, he could have it here, he could have it there. His frames, he could be controlling the wrist with his right hand, he could be controlling the bicep, he could be controlling the shoulder, and this could also be floating about. It could be here, it could be there, or maybe he's come underneath with the underhook, which means I'd have to turn this way to try and collapse that frame. So again, one more time. So just think about make him carry your weight, and then just sort of move your body. You might have to just take one limb at a time, still frame, try to hip escape, push me back, and again from there. Now to collapse that, I'm coming underneath it. Of course, Jerome can still use it in my hip. That's why I'd want to be coming right under it. And then to kill it, I just have to step over the side. That's completely collapsed. So, some ideas about collapsing frames from the guard pass.